For the next 3 days of notes. So if you want to unstaple and restaple, I'll pass the stapler around during homework time, okay? But very sorry. Well, I don't even know why I'm allowed to put the staple there, but that is where I put it. So take a look at the top. You have an F and a G. Okay, so the first graph is your F of X graph. Second is your G. Okay, so if I am doing F plus G, all that you're going to do is bring the X into both terms. Oh, thank you. Okay, all that you're going to do is F of X plus G of X at that number. Now, one little thing for you to remember, when you're finding F, it has to be what kind of dot? You remember? Closed. Okay, closed dots only. If the only dot that's available is an open, do you remember you put undefined? Okay, for subtraction, it's almost the exact same thing. It'll be F of X and G of X, but you'll minus them. And then multiplication is the same thing. You're going to give them each their own X. But rather than adding or subtracting your Y values, you'll multiply them together. Okay. Division, you guessed it, is the exact same thing. Okay, if your F is on top and your G is on bottom, then it'll be F of X over G of X. So essentially, you're just giving the X to both the F and the G. Okay. All right, so let's just run through some examples, kind of remind you of how to do this. We're going to start off with graphs because it's easiest. So if I'm doing F plus G at -1, that means I'm going to find F of -1, G of -1, and then I'm going to add them together. Now remember, F of -1 has to be either on the line or a closed dot. So -1 is the X value. So -1 would be here. And then if I want to stay on the graph, I have to go up how many boxes? Then that'd be a 3. Okay, then I'm going to come over here to G. I go to my -1 on the X-axis. In order for me to stay on the line, I have to go up to the closed dot, which happens at 2. And then 3 plus 2 is 5. So find the F, find the G, and then do whatever the operation is. Okay, let's do the one right next to that, number 2. This time, what is the operation? Plus, minus, times, or divide? Minus at what number? 3. So I'll do F of 3 minus G of 3. Okay, then I'm going to go to my graph at 3 for F. Remember, I want to stay on the graph, but if I stay right here in the middle, what Y value does that count as? 0 minus. Then I go to G of 3 over here. Remember, 3 is the X value. To stay on the graph, I'd have to go down 1, so that's a -1. And then whenever you minus a -1, we should know that's the same as a plus. So really, this is 0 plus 1, which is 1. Okay. All right, next row is multiplication. We're going to take our 0, push it into F and G. So that's F of 0 times G of 0. And then remember, the number in the parentheses is where you go on the X-axis. Okay, F and G are how high or low the graph is at that point. So F of 0, you'd stay dead center. How high is the graph of F at 0? 4. And what about on G? So it's right in the middle is up 4 on F. How many on G? 1. Then I'd take the 4 and the 1 and I'd times them together. Bless you. Okay, 4 times 1 is 4. Okay, if you multiply 2 negatives, remember you get a positive. Okay, but we're going to just skip number 4. Okay, go down to number 5. We're dividing. F is on top. G is on bottom, so I want f of 5 divided by g of 5. Okay, then I'll go to 5 as the x, find how high or low f is, how high or low g is, then I'll divide the answers. So let's go out to 5 on f first. So 5 is here. I have to go down how many boxes? -2. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing on G. Go out to 5. How many down? Only put how many there. So just put a minus in the bottom corner. Just how many they missed on the whole page. But you're only doing, remember, all the first pages of it. You don't have to keep going. Just do the whole first page. Yep. All right. So what did we get for 5 here?
1.
-1. And then -2 and -1 divide to +2. Okay. Then will you go down to these bottom two for me? Okay, let's do f over g at 3. Then I'll do f of 3 divided by g of 3. What is f of 3? Remember, that's the first graph. Look on your paper. 0, good. What about g of 3? -1. Now, if you get a 0 and you divide it by any number, what should the answer still be? 0. Okay, think about it. If you have 0 cookies, you can still split them evenly by as many friends as you want because everybody's going to get 0. Now, take a look at number 8. Just cross the negative out so we don't have to find the numbers again. Just make it a 3. Then now it's g of 3 over f of 3, which is the exact same two numbers I just had, but now do you see that they're flip-flopped? So now if the 0 goes to the bottom, you can't do that. So -1 divided by 0, that's going to be undefined for your answer. Okay, so one way you can kind of remember it is it's okay to get a 0 on the top, but no, you can't have a 0 on the bottom. Make sense? First page good? All right, when you're ready, go ahead and turn the page. And then, sorry, you're having to turn the page because I stapled this like a weirdo. Okay, the last operation you have to know how to do. So we covered plus, minus, times, divide is a composition, which is this little O. Now notice this is an open circle. Okay, so it's not a multiply dot. This is the composition circle, is that symbol right there. Okay, and what a composition is that you're going to find f of g of x. Okay, you are always going to start on the inside and work your way out. So I'll put work out from middle. So here's what I mean by that. Okay, if I'm doing F, this says composition G of 4. They don't both get a 4. Okay, it's not the same as the first page. You're going to do F of G of 4. And then you're going to start in the middle. So what I mean by that is you're going to pretend the F's not there. So I'm going to put my finger over it. Pretend it's not even there. What is G of 4 using the G graph? If I count out to 4, how high or low am I? -1. Very good. Then I'm going to take that answer of -1 and I'm going to plug that into the next function, which is the F in the front. So this gave me -1. And now I'm going to take -1 and look there on F. So go to your F graph. At -1, my -1 is at 3 as the final answer. So it's kind of like a chain reaction where you're not looking at 4 on both graphs. You look at 4 at the first graph, whatever that answer is, that's where you go on the second graph. Okay, let's do the next one. I want F composition G, that's F of G of -2. But just remember, ooh, give you a little scare. Will you grab your notes? You grab your notes. All right, so we're doing G of -2 first. I'm gonna hide the F with my finger. Okay, G of -2, I have 2 circles to choose from. Oh wait, no, -2's here, sorry. How low are we? -2. And then that tells me that I'm gonna go to F of -2. Now, for this one, the answer ended up coming exactly the same, but that won't always happen. Then go to your graph of F. If I go to -2, I see that I'm staying right on the x-axis, which counts as what height? 0. All right, let's do maybe just 2 more. Let's do number 12. So this time it's G composition F. Then I'm going to do G of F of -. Okay, but remember, you always start in the middle. So the middle in this case means F. Okay, then if I want F of -4, I'm going to count to the left 4 and see how high or low the graph is. Okay, for this graph, in case you can't tell, okay, it does overlap on the x-axis. Okay, so if I were to go to -4, I want to stay on this line, then that means my y value is 0. Then I'm going to find G of 0. And remember, G of 0 means you're looking at 0 on the graph of G to say how high or low it is. Can you give me that number, please? 1 is correct. Very good. Okay. We'll do one more off the bottom row. Let's do 14. Okay, we want G composition G of 2. Then that's going to be G of 2. Okay, which means I'm looking at the graph of G both times. I'm going to start at what x value? 2. And then whatever that answer is, that's where I'm going to go next, but still on G. So go to 2. I see that I have multiple dots to choose from. Which one do I have to pick? The closed at 5, correct. Yeah, that's fine. So then now I'm going to find G of 5. So same graph, count out to 5. How low is the graph at that spot? -4. Now, if there wasn't a closed circle for you to pick, do you remember what you put? Starts with a U? Right. Great. Okay, turn the page. So obviously the graphs go the quickest because you're just kind of looking at the picture. Some of your questions on your homework, you'll have a graph combo with a table. Okay, but the good news is it all kind of works the same. So let's say that I'm doing number 15. I want F composition G of 7. Then I want F of G of 7. If I'm looking at F, I'm using this chart. And if I'm wanting G, I'm looking at this graph. So G of 7 is where I start. Count out to 7. How high is it? Probably have to look on your paper instead of mine. 3. Then I'm going to find F of 3. And the way that you're going to use the chart is you're going to find the number you want in the X row, and then you're going to give the answer in the F row. So if I go to 3, my F value is 0. So at 3, my answer is 0. Okay. We'll do maybe 2 more of those. Let's do 16. I want F of G of 10. So who do I start with, the F or the G? G, and I want it at what number? 10. Then I go to G of 10 would be way out here on the end. How high is it? 6. Then I want F of 6. And remember that F is going to be my chart. I'll find 6 and then just report back what the answer is. So at 6, my answer is 15. Okay, one more left. Let's do 17, last one in this section. So we have G of F of 2. then that means that for this one, I'm going to start with the chart and then end on the graph. So f of 2 first. I'm finding 2 in the x column. I'm reporting back the answer is what? If I was here, -5 would be, we want to be on the chart, right? So 2 is here, my y value is a -5. And then that's where we'll go now on this graph. So count out to -5. And I see that I need to be down 3. Okay. Do we have any questions on how to do this if you get a table in your question? Perfect. Okay, so the last way that you have to be able to work these out is what if you don't get a graph or a table and instead you get an equation? Okay, so take a look at the next section down here at the bottom. Okay, if I want f, I'm going to plug into the equation 2x. And if I want g, I'm going to plug into x minus 6. So I have 2 equations, okay, that I will use whenever I'm trying to find whatever my operation is. So look at 21. What's the operation? Is it a plus, minus, times, divide, or a composition? Plus. Then I'm going to find f of 2, g of 2, and then I'm going to add them. But rather than me having a picture, I'm going to have to plug 2 into the x of the appropriate equation. So for f, my equation was a 2x. Well, then I'm going to do 2 times 2. And what am I going to get for that? 4. Plus. Now I want g. I'm plugging in a 2 here. That'd be 2 minus 6. And what's 2 minus 6? What kind of 4? -4. And then I'd have 4 plus a -4 would give me how many? 0. Very good. Okay. Let's try the next one. What's my operation? Plus, minus, times, divide, or composition? Minus, and what number are we plugging in? 4. So I'll find f of 4, I'll find g of 4, and then I'll minus those answers. But remember, you get f of 4 by plugging 4 into the x of the f equation. So if f is a 2x, then I want 2 times 4. What's 2 times 4? 8. Next, we're finding g of 4. Well, then that'd be 4 minus 6. 4 minus 6 is -2. And then what happens if you get 8 minus -2? That's really a plus, which means it's 8 plus 2, which is 10. Okay. All right, 23. What is my operation? Plus, minus, times, divide, or composition? Division. So I'm going to do f of 10, g of 10. And then once I get those answers, I'll divide them with each other. Let's plug in our 10 to the f equation first. Instead of a 2x, now it's a 2 times 10. And what is 2 times 10? 20. Okay, on bottom, we're plugging into g. So that'd be 10 minus 6. 10 minus 6 gives me, and 20 divided by 4 is, okay. So far, so good. All right, let's do maybe 2 off the bottom row. Let's just do 24 and 26. We'll skip 25. Okay, for 24, it's f composition g. Then you're going to do f of g of 8. And remember, you start with the closest letter, which is which one in this case? F or G? G. And I'm going to plug in what number? 8, right? So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to plug in an 8. 8 minus 6 gives me 2. And then 2 is the answer I'm going to plug into F. Does that make sense? So you start with the 8, plug it into G, the answer is 2, then I take 2 and I plug it into the next letter. So then F of 2 would be 2 times 2, which I already did, and it was 4. Okay. Last one like that, take a look at number 26. We're doing G composition F of 10. Sorry, I said that wrong, negative 10. Then remember, we're going to cover up with our thumb the outside letter because you're always starting on the inside. So if I want F of minus 10, then I'm going to plug that into my equation. Whatever answer I get, that's what goes into G. So I already have a 2 times 10. Let's just make it a minus 10 here. Then 2 times minus 10 gives me what answer? Negative 20. Then I want G of negative 20. Very good. Which means that I'll take negative 20, I'll plug it into the G equation, which is just to minus 6 from it. So negative 20 minus 6 more, that would be negative 26. Okay? Because remember, if you borrow $20 from me and then you borrow 6 more, now you owe me 26. Okay? All right, for the next page, if I remember correctly, you're probably going to want a calculator. So can I just get one person to go grab calculators for their little group?
Got it.
Okay, really, it'll just kind of make the math quicker. You don't need it, but that way you'll just already have it if you decide to want. Yeah. All right, go ahead and turn the page. Okay, you, like I said, you have done this before, but I know it's been a minute. So if they leave this as an X, so notice they're not putting a number in the parentheses, they're leaving it as an X, then you're gonna do whatever the operation is on the formulas. Okay, so I want you to put right here, my X is gonna go in, but now it's F of X plus G of X. Then we're going to use the formulas to add. Okay, and so what I mean by that is you're not going to plug in like a 3. You're just going to leave it the way that it is. So for F of X, what is my listed formula? 2x plus 1. That's my F formula, plus... And then for G of X, what's my G of X formula? 3x minus 6. And then remember, I'm adding in the middle, but I can only add like terms. So which ones are the like terms? 2x plus 3x makes 5x. And then do your calculator if you need to. What's 1 plus negative 6? Negative 5. Okay. For number 28, my operation in the middle is subtraction. So I want F of X minus G of X. My F of X formula, yes? Say that again. Uh-huh. Oh, you would just leave it like that. Oh, you mean like take the 5 out? Yeah, you can just leave it. Okay, F of X minus G of X. Little trick here. Okay, put F minus G. Your F is a 2x plus 1. We already know that. But then if I'm minusing G and you're putting more than one thing in this subtraction, you really need to use parentheses. And the reason why is that just like you took your test over last week, if you're subtracting multiple terms, that minus applies to both of them. Okay, which means that my 2x plus 1 is fine, but this is a minus 3x and what kind of 6? It was negative, but if I negative on a negative, what is it now? A plus 6. Okay, so just be careful on that, that minus applies to everybody in G. So then 2x minus 3x in your calculator, 2 minus 3 is what? Negative 1x. And then 1 plus 6, now that's a 7. Okay, for the x, if you want to write the 1, you can, but you don't have to. Okay. Number 29. What is the operation in the middle? Plus, minus, times, divide, or composition? Multiply, which means I'm doing f multiplied by g. But because they're leaving it as an x, I'm going to multiply the formulas without plugging in a specific number. Okay, you will need parentheses here too. So my f formula is a 2x plus 1. My g formula is a 3x minus 6. And then because I'm multiplying, I'm going to put parentheses there. Okay. Then if you like box method, I know we kind of touched on that last week. You could do that. I'm just going to do the arrows because I don't want to draw box. So what is 2x times 3x? 6x what? Squared. Okay, then I'm going to do 2x times minus 6. What would that be? Negative 12x. Good. Okay, then I move to my plus 1. 1 times 3x is going to stay a 3x. And 1 times minus 6 is going to stay minus 6. Remember order. PEMDAS, you multiply. Now we add or subtract like terms. So in your calculator, will you add negative 12 and positive 3? Negative 12 and positive 3, what does that add to? Negative 9x. Okay, and then I'm going to write underneath that CLT. That stands for combine like terms. But you multiply our box method first, combine like terms second. Okay, for the bottom row, what type of operation are you doing? Is it still multiplication? These are compositions. These are a little bit harder, so track with me. This is the last thing that we're going to cover. Okay, if you have G composition F, we know that means this. Okay, write it down. G of F of X. What that means is you're going to take the formula for F and plug it in to the formula for G. Okay, now obviously I'm not going to have you write that every time. Okay, but just since this is the first one that we're doing, you're going to take the formula for the middle function, which in this case is an F, and you're going to plug it into the formula for the outside function, which is G. So inside goes into outside. So first question, okay, out loud, what is the formula for G? What does it say? 3x minus 6, and I want you to write this down. 3 blank minus 6. That's G's formula. And then into where the x was, where I left that blank, I'm going to plug F into that spot. What is the F formula? Say it out loud for me. 2x plus 1. Okay, and if there's more than one thing, you are including parentheses because the 3 in front of my blank is going to times with both of those guys, then we'll combine like terms. So 3 times 2x, how many is that? 6x. 3 times 1 is still a plus 1. Do I also multiply the 3 with the 6? No, because it's not in the parentheses. So I have 6x plus 1 minus 6. Then you're going to CLT or combine like terms on your numbers. So if I have a 1 and a negative 6, that's how many? Negative 5. All right, just since we're gonna do several of these, let's skip 31 and we'll do 32. So 32 says H composition F of X. That's gonna be H of F of X. You're gonna start with H's formula, and everywhere that you see an X, you're gonna put a blank instead. Because into H's formula, we're gonna put F into the blank. So read me out loud, what is H's formula? So X squared plus 8 is blank squared plus 8. And then in the blank, I'm gonna put the middle function, which is F's formula. What is F's formula? 2x plus 1. Okay, now I know we covered this last week, but you should remember that a squared means you're going to multiply it twice. So you're going to write it with itself. So 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. And then we're going to add 8 to the final answer. Okay, so if you need to put a little note here, this means write it twice. So let's do our multiplication here. What's 2x times another 2x? 4x what? Squared. 2x times 1 is going to stay a 2x. Then I move to my second term. 1 times 2x stays a 2x. What about 1 times 1? 1 plus 8. Okay, then from there, we only want to combine like terms after we multiply. So the 2x's can go together, the 1 and 8 can go together. 2x plus 2x makes how many? 4x. Now, question, when I'm combining like terms, does that still go to a squared? No, not when you're adding. 2x and 2x is 4x, and it stays a regular x. And then 1 and 8 becomes 9. Questions on that? All right. There are a couple on your homework that have multiple x's, so let's do number 33 and see how we do. I think you only have maybe 2 of these on your homework though. Okay, so we want G composition F of X. That's G of F of X. Then I'm going to start with the equation for G, and I'm going to plug F into the blanks. So read me out loud G's equation. What does it say? X squared minus
3x
plus 6. How many x's did you say?
2.
2. Then there are 2 blanks that you're going to have to leave in the equation. So it's x squared minus 3x plus 6. So everywhere that there's an x, you're leaving that spot open. And then what goes into those blanks? The formula for F, which is just the x plus 4. Okay, make sure to plug it in with parentheses. Okay, then from there, the squared means to write it twice. We're going to times it out. What are we going to do with the 3 here? Distribute it in. And then after we've done both of those 2 things, then we'll combine like terms. Okay? So let's just go one step at a time. Let's do this squared first. This is x plus 4 times x plus 4 again. So what's x times x? X squared. What about x times 4? Okay, then I move to the 4 times x is another 4x. And then 4 times 4? It's not 8. 16, very good. Now, when I distribute this 3, what kind of 3 is it? A minus 3. So make sure that minus needs to come in with it. So minus 3 times x is a minus 3x. Minus 3 times 4 is a minus 12. And remember, the plus 6 stays the same until I combine like terms. So now I only have 1x squared. Let's find all the regular x's and add them up. So I have a 4x and a 4x. How many is that so far? 4 and 4 makes 8, and then I have to take away 3. So 8 take away 3 is 5x. Okay, then for my numbers, 16 take away 12. How many's left so far? 4, and then add 6. 10. Okay. But remember, adding and subtracting the like terms is always going to be your final step after multiplying. Okay, set up A and B for the next question. Think about which formula you're starting with. How many x's it has should be how many blanks it has. These are the last two questions. So you have an F and a G. Okay, don't go through all the math, just set it up and we'll see if it's right before we do all the hard stuff. Okay, so for A, you're starting with the F formula, but you're going to leave blanks for G to go into. So what is F's formula for these two questions? Yes. Now it's 2 blank plus 1. And then in the blank, I'm going to plug G into this spot. Don't forget the parentheses. So it'd be x squared plus 5x plus 10. For the second one, how many blanks are in your G formula? There are 2. There's an x with a squared on it and an x next to the 5. So instead of x squared plus 5x, it's blank squared plus 5 blank plus 10. And then into those blanks, I'm plugging F into those spots. So this would be a 2x plus 1 squared and a 2x plus 1 with a 5. Okay. All right, so let's do just the bottom one. Top one, do you feel like you could do by yourself? That we don't have to do that one? Good. Just times the 2 and then combine. Yeah, sure. So then make sure you write it twice. So 2x plus 1, 2x plus 1. That's going to be 4x squared. 2x times 1 stays a 2x. 1 times 2x is another 2x. 1 times 1 is a plus 1. Okay, but notice I had to double distribute here because it was 2x plus 1 times another 2x plus 1. This is regular distributing, you're just timesing in the 5. Okay, then once you do that, you'll combine like terms. Hello? Yeah. Yes, Lachey's going home? Okay, thanks, fine. Okay, so Lachey, you must leave us, sadly.
No.
So that'd be 10x. 5 times 1 is 5. And then now we're combining like terms. Four x squared is the only term with a squared on it. Read me the x terms that I can combine. 2x, 2x again, and 10x. So that'd be how many altogether? 14. Remember, your x doesn't go up to a squared when you're adding. Okay, then same thing for the numbers. I have a 1, a 5, and a 10. So that'd be 16. Okay? Questions on that, or we feel okay? All right. And then I don't think I really got a good feeling. Do you know how to do this? Okay. Hi, have a good day. All right, I'll bring around scratch work. Your homework's on Delta Math. Okay, go ahead and get started. It is hidden, but I'll unhide it right now. So give me 1 sec.